that time doctors predicted not a very bright future. At the time this piece was written called only. This particular album is called so much money, and it's a project. The money has to be made back. Not so much for. I mean, it's okay. What will happen? Okay, what will happen? Will it sell a little less? Okay. So why didn't you get? When was the last book of fiction that? What is all your money? You know, like it's always yeah. It's been okay. I mean, I was an investment banker before, and I bought iPhone, Apple shares the day the iPhone was released. So track the shares. I'm fine. Okay. You know, money is not the point. You know, it's you see, money can buy happiness. It can, but only if you use it for things. Like let's say buy this house. It can buy, but a nice house is not going to give you happiness. It's when you entertain in that house, when your best friends from the past come and you all have great evening in that beautiful house. Like I have a lovely balcony, for example. I wanted a balcony facing the back, and some people always speak with it. And I love to host. We sit and we talk about time, we see music. That is true happiness, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have that house. So in that way, money gives that happiness. If you go on a vacation with your kids, it's not the vacation. It's not some like monument you see in Europe, which is like 700 years old. Okay, what do we do? It's the experience. You have that kids and airport.
Which may be distasteful to you, but you've chosen a practical sphere. If you don't want to engage in politics, then obviously you can write in your study as much as you like, and you're your own boss. And ultimately, no one can tell you what to write next. But in the case of dealing with people in the real world, that isn't a luxury you can guarantee. In fact, you should expect it never to be. So your own individualism and your own ideas will always be interacting with the context and the tools that you need.
Unfortunately, running out of time. I mean, we could go on a long time, but thank you, Ed. That was wonderful. I think the manifesto for generated food melodies. I think it was generated here. The humans are going to come back, and thank you for that wonderful exposition of all your many ideas. I know you have much more to share. We'll be back tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we have noise, traffic, and absolutely remember, always signing and bookstore. You can check out point 7 on the map.
To today's session with N.K. Raina on his book, or memoir rather, Before I Forget. A little about your work. When I was reading your book, you were talking about the impact of the rich Kashmiri heritage on your work. Because you talk about how as a child you were exposed to the shadow theatre technique when you watched this play called, I think, Akkananda, you said, right? And then you worked with the art factor also, the local folklore theatre tradition, I think. So tell us how this Kashmiri tradition has impacted your work. You are, of course, carrying forward this legacy very proudly, but if you should just tell us a little about that.
You see, before I answer that, I have to make a statement. My book is not only about Kashmir. It is a major part of Kashmir. It's about the rest what was happening in post-independent India, in Delhi, in other places. The conflicts we have gone through, right after I live. It's all. But what Kashmir has given me, I think, is that understanding and that impulse that you have to move in and walking with them. You have to understand the compassion. You have to work with the compassion. And I cannot be taken by the rhetoric. I cannot be taken over by people talking about slogans. I look behind behind the curtain or under the layers what is happening. That's has come to be from Kashmir. And that is why, whether after 90s when I lost everything, home, everything there, after 10 years, I said, no, I can't leave my valley like that. I've done a lot of my work all over India. I'm working 13, 14 languages. I've done cinema, all sorts of things. I should give back something. Can I do something? And then started my another life in Kashmir. Not an outsider, but just here. And and those started from 2000 when things were very bad. People used to be in the homes by 4 o'clock. dictats of the terrorists were that you cannot perform, you cannot sing. There were no marriage songs. This nobody talks about, and they talks only with the Mujahideen. The life had been turned upside down, up, as you see a tree being uprooted by a cyclone. And my step by step, not step by step is the saying Kashmiri. I love that. My mother used to tell me always, you should have a capacity to enter anywhere you feel you want to go in through the needle hole. And when you come out, you should be able to come out of the elephant's cave. I've entered the needle, elephant out, but yes, that is because of work, almost silence. Nobody knows we are working here. I had 30 boys and girls with me. Behind a mountain, there was a little hostel which my friends managed for me, and they had to be with me even for 30 days. When we used the therapy, first I took therapy for them. And I remember when we did one session, we were singing a Sufi song, and they went on for 2 hours singing the same song, and tears coming down there. And I realized that catharsis would happen. Now I can it's not only therapy dialogue, it is psychological, psychotherapy. It should be my therapy first. I was perhaps healing myself, and my healing was helping them heal themselves. And then we started gradually performing little stories by 12 in the afternoon show, by 1:30, oh, everybody must be strong. It was a normal life. And whenever you go to Kashmir, it was never a normal day for me, ever, or anybody for that matter. Then I created by this couples 300 youngsters in theatre. They went to villages back. They have started creating their own groups. Now they want me to, every day I mean this festival, I'm in this festival. Because I had told them that you have to go into villages, not in the cities. It will not help us. Then I moved two areas I moved. One was I worked with the Bandpatha because Bandpatha is like Yashida area. The great homes. Our tragedy is we have just left them in the wings. It is these are the times of Indian cultural performing traditions. And Indian nation is the only nation in the country, according to me, which has every national school of drama in every region. There's methodology, music training, acting training, costume training, uh, improvisation, into an experimental theater. But what is important is that the themes they have met so far are not the themes that want to change. Can we now employ our genius or ideas to use that form, work with those actors, learn from them? I don't think I learned anything at our school which they taught me. They taught me life, what it is all about. And then we started creating play after play. And while people were getting killed, we were also performing the open air. People will be on the mountain or a hill, will be down performing. During the day, like it's a different kind of theater. And till we reached stage and I realized the greatness of these actors, I could venture to use after 5 years to do Shakespeare with them. And I did King Lear with them. That's a different story. That's in the book, how we reached to that stage. Book very good. So one thing that we have, the strength of our folklore, folk tradition is as great as any modern writer can tell you. I mean, I see them, their absurdism in them, I see existentialism in their work. I see all kinds of things in their work. But it is if I am I and I am, locate that. Locate in the tradition, see what it is.
She is one of the veterans of the literary space at a very, very young age. But, you know, I thought it'd be great. When I first published, we didn't have literary festivals. There weren't that many venues to actually interact and meet readers and really have that sense also of a community of writers. Sometimes what's happening behind the scenes at the literary festival is writers are meeting each other and inspiring each other, and having fights with each other, but all very productive in ways. Uh, that didn't exist.
ways, there were a few, but not so much to actually help aspiring writers. It was more like writers interested in you and established writers. So there was no easy way to enter this process. I think what you're doing here, particularly, is also creating a pathway for writers to become part of the system. And I think that has really changed. The visibility of writers has changed. The interaction, the possibilities of interaction, of marketing, of many things has changed positively. On the other side, sometimes I feel like writers are consumed as a product and it's not our work or fiction that's really out there. It's us. So that is a bit of a problem. But that balances out with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, now all the writers have to be on Instagram, so that's cool.
About 15 years ago now, and starting a platform for short story writing called Our Friends. And so we kept on asking these questions. And I think one thing that short stories really enabled me in the early phases of my career, and that was actually after my first book got published. But I don't talk about this very often, but there was a lull between me writing books for children and me writing books for adults. And it was very hard to actually get published with books for adults. I kept getting rejected and rejected, even though I had a successful children's book career for myself. And I think short stories really gave me the opportunity as a writer to hone my craft, to experiment with the different kinds of narratives, to be experimental, to not be held to a form for a whole like novel and book, but to keep trying out new things. And that was a great learning experience. And I think that for many writers, the ability to experiment and find your voice, all of these, the short story really enables that. It's also, I think, a format that is becoming, I feel becoming popular today because I think also attention spans are getting shorter. So short fiction can sometimes really succeed and be far more powerful than novels in certain situations and contexts.
Yeah, it's true. And naturally, what was your experience then of serving as a jury for the types of short stories that came in? And we read a fair number. And what was your I'm just curious, what was your reaction of a jury member reading all of this short form English fiction coming straight out of India? Just want to hear a bit about that before we move on.
Well, first of all, the enormous, you don't get a sense of this, but the enormous behind the scenes work that Natasha has to do to enable, and now she's cringing because she is taking care. This is all of this step. But really, I mean, I think you had some 600 entries, and to have to read that and to work through that, and to have the resources and the community to sort of manage the prize and spearhead it. I mean, huge, also motivate all of us to be part of this. So thank you for that question. So now I have to ask the question, which is, it's really, for me, I was quite impressed by the diversity of the kind of themes and places that came up. There were some very unusual and distinct voices. I could see also in experiment kind of things being involved, very contemporary situations, merging the past and present. I really like what astounded me. Sometimes I'm also stuck eating very conventional, very already stuff that's already got awarded, stuff that's already got published. Is how contemporary it was responding to a very contemporary context. And that was really exciting and invigorating to see.
Yeah.